Good evening, everyone, on this May 7th, 2026. I'm James Fraher, your host of World Events. And that's what we're going to be talking about. World Events. It's just not going to be about your state, your local. It could be federal, it could be overseas, it could be outside this world. And that's what it's all about. And I'm having Randy Stewart, and he's going to be watching out for group chat. If anybody's chatting, he's got a lot of input too. So right now, I'm going to introduce Randy Stewart.
Mr. Jim, how are you doing today? Thank you for having me on the greatest show ever, man, where the talk is talk and the walk is walk, and you are the man. Thank you, sir, for having me on.
You're welcome. And the thing is, I'm going to post this here and let people see that. The comments and statements are of each person or person's opinion, and that's what it's supposed to be about. They are opinions. We try to research everything, make sure it's factual. And so the first thing I want to talk about, since we don't have anybody on the show with us right now, unless you see something in the chat, Randy.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up a video here. And this guy is it's about the current thing with the virus that was on the cruise ship. There is on the cruise ship that had 134 people on it. And listen what this guy has to say. It's pretty amazing.
Okay.
Come on.
What's up, you freaking hammers? Let me get this straight. The same people who are falling for this whole cuntavirus shit over on that one ship are now saying that we need to lock our country down. Let's not let it be a repeat of 2020. People need to start wearing the mask in the name of safety and saving lives. But yet they're the same people who were wishing that the assassination attempts on President Trump didn't fail. The same people who were making content on social media, posting it online, saying if I see anybody wearing a red MAGA hat or any Trump gear, we're gonna kill him. Do I got that right? This is why I don't take any of these fucking weird cucks seriously. At all, what the fuck soever. Oh, stupid, weak, bitch-made motherfuckers. Fuck out of here.
So I like Jamin. He's a great person. And that one video there can lead to several things. Okay. The virus and about the left side on Trump and how they feel. So as far as I have found out the virus, there is a couple, they were in a different country. They were on top of a landfill, actually supposedly taking pictures of something else. And somehow it's the same virus that, who'd you say his wife's passed away, Randy?
Gene Hackman's wife.
Yeah, go ahead and tell about that.
Gene Hackman's wife had that. She died from rat feces and urine. Why? I guess their house was really dirty, whatever. And then he had dementia, and he died like a week later. I guess he didn't even know she had passed away. But isn't that how polio or what was one of the diseases back in the 1800s on the ships?
The Black Plague and
stuff. Black Plague. There you go.
Black Plague. Now the thing is look at what that guy said. Jamin said about the what they want to. They're already talking about. Hey, we have to shut the country down. Now we just went through this with the virus, the COVID.
Right.
Now, are they going to try to put that on there? And then you have these people out there saying, no kings, no kings. Well, to me, when we had that conditions going on in the country, they were the kings. You had Biden, you had Fauci.
Yeah.
They were the kings. It's not the kings that they're talking about Trump. They're the king because if you didn't do it, people got kicked out of the military because of it. People lost jobs because they didn't get the jab. The only reason I took the jab because I was cruising, and had to have it, plus the COVID test before we got on the ship. Like 3 days prior, we had to have a COVID test. Now, Randy, take off with that. And what you think about, you think you will get that way, or they're going to try it again?
Well, they've got this other cicada virus they're pushing out too. this new virus called cicada, like after the bug. And okay, those people on that ship, I don't think any of them should get off that ship unless we've got a cure for that. Just because they're feeling good does not mean they're okay. I mean, that virus
Well,
that off that ship, that could pop in a week from now or 2 weeks from now.
well, see what happened. There was a guy that died from that virus on the ship, and they let him off, and his relatives that were with him, but they did not know what they were looking at when that person passed away. So right now, there's already 2 people there, but they've been tracked down. The people that brought it on, they were tracking the people that were on the flight with them. So they're trying to expand from there, and they're trying to get those people and get them in quarantine. So the only thing I don't want the country to do is do what they did with COVID and try to lock this country down again. We're already in sad shape anyway, unfortunately. But fortunately, we'll talk about that later. Why we're at right now. But what do you think? What do you think Trump's going to let them do?
Personally, I think Trump is just going to let that boat sit out there. I don't think he's going to get really that involved with it, because if he starts saying, "Well, we got this new disease that came off the ship," people are going to start going. We got to go back to mask. We got to. I don't think he wants to bring that scare up. I think he's going to let it sit till there's more people getting sick in other countries or getting sick here. Then I think he'll kind of put his 2 cents in on it. Because right now, I mean, the ship doctor got sick and they took him off, and the 2 people died. And then they let off a couple people in California, and they went into Arizona. So if
But
nobody else,
they're going into, but they're going also into what you call it, isolation, But there's other people that's still sick on the ship, and they did that with COVID too. They kept them out at sea for a while on one cruise ship, and I can understand them doing that, but I don't want to go back to where you're putting people against people because you don't do this or you do this, whether you take the shot or not. We've been through that. We don't need to go through that again.
no, because the COVID, COVID, the coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, that was a reset in life. I don't believe that was all that. People were dying because of the shots. People were dying because they were put on ventilators. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. And I'll be honest with you, Jim, when it comes to that, yourself, President Trump, first thing he said is, we're not doing any more wars in his first term. And the only time they have a census every 10 years. And every 10 years when they have a census, we have a war. And Trump took a census, but we didn't have a war. So by letting all the illegal aliens in with every disease they come up with from these third world countries, I truly believe they did that to get rid of a lot of people. And, to me, I think the coronavirus and all that was a bunch of bullcocky myself, because it's all it was a flu.
Well, what do you think? They're looking at not even prosecuting Fauci. They're going to let the time of limitations run out, from what I've heard.
Well, Fauci needs to go to jail, and the governor of New York State that was in there at the time, he killed 3,000 or 4,000 people in nursing homes.
Como?
Como, yeah.
Yep, it's Como. Yep.
They were all in it for the money. Fauci's in it because he had a patent on the medicine.
Well, plus he helped fund Wuhan.
Yeah, exactly. It's a money deal, and so many people they can get rid of. And I give kudos to President Trump. When he was first in office, he didn't have an idea. He had to believe what Fauci and everybody told him. Now he's educated. Now he knows what the game is. And I really don't think, truly in my heart, I don't think he's going to let this virus or the cicada virus take him over like they did the coronavirus.
Right. Now, everybody who will listen to this future down the line, or you happen to pop in, the reason I'm having this show is because if you're a conservative, you're on the right side, you do not feel comfortable going out in the outside talking to people about it. So this show here is to enable like-minded people that are conservative. They are on the right side. They have these issues. They want to talk about them. This is a platform to do it at. Share it to get the feelings out there. The thing is, do not let the left side silence you. And that's what they want to do. The left side wants to silence you. They want to call you a Hitler. They want to call you a fascist. I'm definitely not a Hitler. I'm definitely not a fascist. I'm a true damn patriot. You can see the freaking flag behind me. Okay.
Amen.
Okay, so there's where I stand. I'm a Christian first, family, then God, and then faith, and then families after that. So country, faith, country, family. And that's how you have to look at it. And I don't care if you don't like what's happening in this United States, you're a citizen. You want to go up, and I'm going further. What I started out saying is that if you want to back up these countries we're going after, you want to back up that regime, go live over there.
Yeah.
Because your rights will not be available over there, which you have here in the United States.
Jim, people don't know how good they have it here. You know, and her name is Katie. I watched her show. She's out on the street, you know, with the protesters. 9 out of 10 people protesting don't even know what they're protesting about or have a clue.
No, they don't. And when she
don't have a
questions
clue.
them, yeah, because she'll question on things. You go, oh, I didn't remember that, or let me look it up, and then they don't have time to look it up, and they leave. But
Yeah,
the thing is, we need to stand up.
And the fake news. The news is going to make Trump look as bad as they can every time.
Yep. And this is what we're out here is to expose that and give you the facts and then let you make your own decision.
That's right.
Here's something that, and we're going to touch a bit further, it may come up later on, is this bullshit right here. Do you want to see people walking around that in your streets all the time? You don't know if there's a man or a female. You don't know if it's a peaceful person or somebody that wants to shoot you. You can't tell if that's a male or a female underneath that burqa. Okay.
No, I'll be honest with you. I love springtime. I live in Las Vegas, so the weather's. I want to see legs. You know, I want to see a little cleavage. I'm a man. I don't want to see this mummy-looking thing walking around. You know?
Well, the thing is, you know, this is what they're trying to push in the United States. I mean, it's already happened in Europe. They're starting to have England, Ireland. They're finally getting fed up with this type of bullshit that's being forced down their people's throats. And this is what's starting to happen here in the United States is this bullshit is being forced down our throats because that is part of the Islam doctrine is to take over. They multiply like rabbits.
Oh, I know.
And they multiply like rabbits. We don't need that. It's Texas. They just trying to stop a mosque being opened up there. It's a city within their own city with their own jurisdiction. How can that happen in this United States where we have our own laws and you want Sharia law in this country? You can't have two laws within the same country.
Well, that comes from our law enforcement and the governors of those states and the senators and everything else. They should, you know, if they're allowing that to happen in their states, then the people in office should not be there. They're not true patriots, they're not true Americans. Why would you want to change our country that we fought so hard for? Our soldiers fight each and every day to keep us free. We can wear what we want.
Well, that's right. But that if the Sharia law takes over, that's not going to happen. And the women, and if you're gay, you're a lesbian, you may not survive.
No.
If you're a woman, you're going to either get beat up or they're going to take you as wives.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sharia law is something that is not good. It's already destroying other countries. I think even China or Japan, maybe Japan is starting to take down some of the mosques in their countries because they're finding out that most of these, and it's not, I'm going to put it this way. It's not all Muslims. It is the radical Islam that is the issue. Okay. So it's not all Muslims. It's not just like what's going on in Iran. It's not all the Iranian people. It's the regime. Okay. So I'm going to bring up another quick video. And this is about going to Iran with Trump going in there and doing what he's doing. He needed to do this because Iran has been a thorn in the United States side for 47 years. After they held our hostages for 444 days, they underneath Jimmy Carter. The day Reagan was sworn in, they released him because they figured Reagan wasn't going to put up with the bullshit. But the thing is, the other president just kicked the can down the road, and here's something about it.
We will prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon by whatever means we need, period.
I will not hesitate to use force when it is necessary to defend the United States and its interests.
Should Iran ever contemplate using nuclear weapons against Israel, they must understand what the consequences will be to them.
Wow.
Boy, Jim, you know something? I threw up in my mouth because Trump says this and he's a Hitler. They said it and never did anything about it, and they're great people. That makes me sick.
Big talk with no kahunas.
Yes.
Trump
Trump
has
says
the
that and he
kahuna.
does it, and he's a Hitler, he's a dictator. He's doing what they said that can't be done. He's done it.
Well, Trump was saying in the mid 80s, before he even ran for office, that Iran needed to be dealt with. This guy, Trump, has not changed his way of how he's running this country from the late 70s all the way up to today. He's standing on what he says, and he stands by his values and what he talks about. Okay. And Iran, I've seen videos of it, of their underground systems, their missile storage. It's not only missile storage, they have its military bases with military personnel in them. Okay. There's a video as they come in, there's blast doors, and on the floor, they have painted an American flag and a Star of David of Israel that they walk over. What's that tell you? And the same thing it relates, and people don't understand this and they don't want to believe it, that Iran actually said they want to destroy the infidels, destroy Israel, and destroy the United States.
You know something, Jim? It makes me sick to my stomach to think that we actually have Americans here. Most of them are Democrats. Actually, I'll say all the Democrats. There's a few Republicans that would want to change our country. When people are spitting on our flags and burning our flags and walking and driving over it, and they want to destroy us, what is wrong with these people? Don't they know they're going to be the first ones that kill? And they're going to be the first one yelling, "Help me, help me, help me."
You know, what's really, since Trump went in with Israel and we took out the some of the nuclear places, yeah, we may not have destroyed everything. They said everything was destroyed. I don't know if that's actually true or not, because they're so deep in the ground that they still have some type of capability. But in the talks, one thing, even after we pounded their asses as much as we pounded their asses, trying to take out their military, the Air Force, is that they still want to retain the capability for nuclear weapons. They do not need that uranium at 60% if they want peaceful nuclear power. Okay, it doesn't take, they can get by with 10% and they can run nuclear power plants off of that. Okay. So then what happens, then we go in and bomb Iran. Then Iran shoots missiles, not only to Israel, which is they've been doing that anyway from Hamas and different countries, is that they go in there, they're shooting missiles towards their surrounding Arab neighbors,
Right.
which they were warm to them. Now their Arab neighbors are saying, "Fuck you, Iran. We've had enough of it," because they're targeting civilian structures. Now they're blaming Trump because supposedly one of our missiles hit a school. Now I've heard that was not really our missile that hit that children's school. So there's two different stories about that. when they said it was, they could tell by the trajectory of the missile. It came in from an angle at the top. It did not come in like a tomahawk. Tomahawks come in, fly low, and go in. This came up and knocked down. So hopefully it wasn't ours, but if it is, it was not intended. I mean, if you look at World War II, any war that's ever happened, okay, and it's terrible, but the civilian infrastructure does get hit. But with the military power and the weapons we have, it's a lot more precise. They can target exactly which building they want.
Well, World War II, they would drop bombs, and they dropped them just on intel. Our bombs today, they could shoot it from California and put it down inside of a chimney somewhere. You know what I'm saying, over there. And
yes, people don't realize that.
Yeah,
they carpet bomb cities.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Iran launches missiles with cluster bombs in it. They're cluster bombs. Okay, it's not just one bomb. It's cluster bombs that can cause damage to other places or other people. And most of the countries, they do have them, but they try to keep from using them because of the other casualties that can be caused from that.
Well, you know, too, though, Jim, it's like, they shot a hospital. You know, they blew up a hospital with all these sick people in it. No, it hit the parking lot, and it wasn't even ours. You know, but the news took it. The United States bombed this hospital with all these sick people and the schools. That's, you know, like I said, they want to drop that bomb on your lap. They can. They've killed all the Ayatollahs, killed all the generals. They knew where they were at. They didn't shoot around them. They shot right to that point where they're all in that building.
They took out their building. But the thing is, what happens is that right now the president of Iran, and they're not letting him have the say so, because the ones that's pulling the strings right now over there is the IRG,
right,
which is Iranian Republican Guard. And they are bad. I mean, look what happened on January 8th. It was shortly after we bombed Iran. They blacked out the internet completely. They killed 30 to 40,000 of their own people just for going out protesting against the regime. The people, if you really look at Iran's history, the civilian population was just like ours.
Yeah.
Okay. They wore blue jeans. They wore everything. After the Khomeinis got in charge, then the women have to wear this. They have to wear that. And it gradually went to now they have just a slit through the eyes. And I've seen women getting beat up because they showed more than their eyes. And we want this happening. I mean, Iran, you cannot trust them. And if you look at reason why Trump tore up the arms agreement with them, is because they were supposed to allow our inspectors to go in there and look at their facilities. They stopped that, and nothing was done. So Trump comes in. Of course, who do we have in Biden? Who do we have? We had Biden in office. Oh, God, that's right. Oh, my God, the little sleepy Joe Biden. Oh, the kid hugger. Okay. So terrible. And the kid hugger, kid snuffer. He sniffed kids.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes back to Iran, I mean, I'm really pissed off at Iran because not only did they hold our hostages for that long, but they also did the Beirut, the Lebanon, I think it was Beirut bombing of the embassy.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so they've killed our troops. And like this one video showed, Presidents Obama, Biden, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, all they do is kick the can down the road. And who do we have to allow that blame?
By airplanes and gave them more money.
Thank you, Obama.
Yes.
Obama did that.
Yeah.
And then they were not airplanes full of American cash money. It was all from different monetary values from different countries that was flown in there. Then you had Biden. We had a hold on some of the resources, their financial stuff. Biden releases it. You think Iran took that and used it for their own people, for their own good? No,
No.
they used it for their programs and for the proxies that's been attacking our troops and also attacking Israel. And people think Israel. Well, if you get missiles shot in at you every time, you got people going to Israel doing suicide bombs and all that. Well, you think Israel's not pissed off? Just like Trump.
Yeah.
Come on. He's the only president that's been now possibly 4 assassination attempts because they got the guy by the White House. Okay. They tried to impeach him. They tried to put him in jail. You think Trump is not pissed off? I would be pissed off. I mean, it's like, fuck you assholes. You know, they see he's a narcissist. Well, maybe he has traits of a narcissist, but when you've gone through all that shit that Trump has, I'd be pissed off too.
Yeah, I'd be a little irritated. And, the thing is, Iran put hits out on him. They still have another hit on him.
Yeah, exactly. Then what's worse is when people laugh because it foiled and he did not get shot and killed. This is how sick our American people are on the left side.
I agree with you 110%. And something, I'm going to say it now and I'll say it again. If you're an American citizen and you think, oh, that's bullshit, they missed him, they should have killed him, or I'm a movie star and I don't like what he's saying, I want to leave this guy, they should all be put off. Send them to these countries. Let them see how well they have it here. And I'll tell you what, just like, what's her name there, the heavyset lady who used to do the talk show, Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen, they're begging to come back because they went over there, they moved. Found out it's not all greener on the other side. America was built from our forefathers till today, and Trump is the only one that's got a set of cojones to do what has to be done. He's not paying anybody off, and if you hit him, he's going to hit you back.
Yep, and that's how it should be. I mean, we cannot let the other country, and I've said this for years, basically, in a way, that's what Trump's doing, but not. I would say years ago, we need to close our borders, take care of our country, our people first, not really close them. But if a country needs help, give them help, give them aid. Just don't give them money because then you use those countries as a puppet.
Yeah.
Look what Trump's just did. He's going to withdraw 5,000 troops from Germany. Okay. Now it's probably going to be more than that because that's where our largest contingency of forces is in Germany. And that's because of Russia. But Russia, right now, from what I read, Russia's getting a little bit of their ass kicked from Ukraine. They just took out a big Russian oil facility.
Russia's not as tough as they thought they were.
No, just like Iran. Iran are bullies.
Yep.
And they're calling Trump a bully. We've been bullied by Iran for 47 years. It's time it stops. This world has been bullied.
And we had nothing but ass-kissing politicians in office giving in to them. And Trump's the only one that says, listen, it's our way or the highway. And I don't want to see people die.
I don't either.
Want to know something? If we got to blow that whole country up, let's blow it up. Not nuke it, blow it up.
Well, they could send in tactical nukes. Okay. Like Trump said, he wants to take it back to Stone Age. Well, I sort of disagree with that because you have a civilian population there. But you have to make a statement and say, well, he did on the bridge when he blew up the bridge in Iran, and Iran thought it was going to happen again. So they took their own civilians and had them go around the bridges and their nuclear sites because they were afraid Trump was going to attack some more.
Jim, here's the thing. Yourself, if your father was in the war and he got killed, and whatever, so you have that little chip on your shoulder. The Iranians, their kids are born to hate America.
Well, they're born, plus they're trained to fight against. Yeah, they're trained at a younger age.
The minute they're old enough to stand up, I hate Americans, kill Americans. Personally, I say wipe them all out. The few that are left here, they can either go back. The ones that survive, we can help them rebuild. But we need to knock their military completely out.
Well, if people would actually watch more podcast shows other than the regular news, you'll see where Iranians, either American Iranians or Iranians that have gotten some footage out there, they want our help.
Yeah.
And they need armed. Now, I heard we were trying to get weapons in there, but I heard the Kurds also got to hold some of the weapons. Now, the thing is, can you trust the Kurds? I mean,
There you go.
what's in it? What's in it for the Kurds? Because you figure a lot of the Kurds were under control when Saddam Hussein was in power, because you had all these different factions over there. Now, Hussein, he was an asshole, but you know what?
They didn't
We
screw
didn't
with
have
him.
this problem.
That's right. When Saddam Hussein was alive, if you started a war with America or someone else, he offed you. He smoked out the whole town. He killed everybody off, and he kept control. They knew when they killed him, all this crap was going to happen. The Democrats, now we'll have ICE and all these other people. War makes money for the Democrats.
Well, I said it when they took out Saddam Hussein. I said, we just opened up a can of worms. I told
I said the
relatives
same thing.
and friends, and look what's happened. Ever since we took out Hussein, it's been a can of worms. And the only reason here's what people don't understand. This is what I meant by using other countries as pawns. Anybody remember who was in charge of Iran before the Khomeinis?
Oh, la, 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 la. I can see him.
The Shah.
There you go.
The Shah. Okay, he was ousted because the people that really got into power wanted a change. Well, he was ousted. Look what change they got eventually through years. It was not an immediate process.
Right.
But now they have it to where it's at, and now they're under deep, deep oppression. And you think you're in oppression here in the United States, you're wrong, the wrong train, folks, because you're not oppressed. You can go out there and peaceful. And I tell you what, if you get shot with a rubber bullet, I think it's funny. Okay, that's what I call fuck around and find out. Okay, you go protest over there, you're going to find out, but it's going to be with a bullet in your head.
Did you see the video of the little girl? I think she's like maybe 8 or 9 years old, and she's holding an Iranian flag. She's got it wrapped around her like a cape, and she says, "Thank you, America. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you for freeing me." They killed that girl.
Yeah, I know. It's like they just recently hung a 17-year-old athlete. I think he was a wrestler, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he was out there protesting, helping, trying to organize. They hung him.
Yeah.
All right. What about Soros? Soros has been funding a lot of shit. He's still living around.
Soros needs to be put in prison. They won't put him in prison because he's too old. Well, I think age does not have anything on going to prison. Soros has been a pain. He's got hits on him from all other countries. He's not even allowed in other countries. Why the hell do we have him over here?
There's other countries that have warrants out for his arrest. I think
That's
there's certain countries not even
we're
allowed
here,
to
we
go
let him
into.
sit.
Yep. I mean, it's just like Biden. On the stuff he did, that he was going to be too old and would not remember everything to take him in charges. And that was Comey. Look what Comey's done.
Yeah.
Now, let me touch on Comey real quick. Supposedly walks on a beach, finds this saying, what is it, 8647.
46.
8647. It means to get rid of, and Trump's presidency is 47. Well, it's sort of funny that he's the one that saw him. You can't tell me he's been the only person walking up and down that beach.
Right.
And now he's been charged. But I tell you what, he's going to get off of it. I bet he gets off it because there's not enough evidence that he's the one that did it.
Right.
He's too sly, because unless you can have physical evidence that he did it, I think this is just like a little, and I tell you what, I want to see more prosecutions coming. And I don't care if you're on the left side or the right side.
That's right.
Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, if you're in the wrong, charge your fucking asses, get some criminal investigation going, charge them, and make them pay for it. I don't care.
What's her name there? The old woman there, Pelosi.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi, she's one of the worst ones.
They should put her in prison, take all her money from her, and take her husband and dump him off in one of these countries and let him live over with his pedophile ways that he has. These people are skating. These people need to go to jail, from Fannie Willis in Georgia all the way up to the top. And you take Mr. Tampon there,
Tim Walz.
Tim Walz. That son of a bitch, they should take everything from him.
But the thing is, his
put him in jail.
His people in charge of prosecution is stopping it all.
That's because they're getting this from the crooked judges. The judges are the crookedest things around.
They found 2 people through a jury guilty of Somalian fraud, in a jury. The judge overturned the jury's verdict. And then who do you think who comes from Minnesota? Congresswoman Omar.
That I keep seeing on Facebook, I ain't seen the news yet, that she's been arrested. They're going to deport her. They need to take all that woman's money, send her back to Somalia and say, here, you run their country because you've done shit over here. That woman.
Well, unfortunately, what you said about Facebook, she hasn't been arrested. She married her brother.
Yep.
Come on. She married her brother. What's that tell you? Right there is fraud. She came over here illegally, works her way in, opens up a fake business, a wine business. And then when all the Somalia fraud comes out, her business is taken down off the website. Her husband had something else too. That's gone. And she has increased her wealth immensely just on a congressperson's salary.
A congressman, just like you or me, we go to work, we have a job, we get paid X amount of dollars, make X amount of money a year. All right. I don't know what they get paid. We'll just say 100,000. How do you go? You spend $1 million to work for a job for 100,000, and within 6 months you're worth billions of dollars. There's a crook in everybody. You know what I'm saying? They're crooks. They're in there for what they can get. And her husband is a part of that BlackRock. He's part of BlackRock in North Carolina. So when they got hit with that hurricane, they were telling everybody, we ain't got no more money. We have no money to give you, from FEMA. We'll give you $750. And if you don't pay it back within a year, we'll take your property. Well, first of all, what are you going to do with $750?
Not a whole lot.
You can't stay in a hotel in a week for $750. And BlackRock, that's all they want is that uranium.
Well, yeah, that just came out.
What's the stuff they make batteries out of? Lithium.
Yeah.
North Carolina, they're full of it.
That just came out again. And about the lithium deposits up there in the Appalachian Mountains. And that's why, because they wanted people, and tell you the truth, it's, of course, what do you want to call it? It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And that hurricane was man-made, and that's why it sat there for a day and just poured deluge of water. And I think that is not a conspiracy. I think it happened because it built too fast. And they usually don't come from the west side of the Gulf and go east. They come out
everything comes out of the
Atlantic Ocean.
Way.
Comes out
of Africa, the Atlantic. There's a hurricane right now brewing out of Mexico going to come across. These are man-made storms. This is ARP. And people don't realize it. They were seeding the clouds.
Well, there was a company that I saw a while back. I watched the video of it. And this was after the flood in Texas, where the church group was wiped. They flooded a lot of the church group people out, and some died from it.
Uh-huh.
And the person that said, we seeded, they were cloud seeding. So It's out there. I've never seen the or the chemtrails. To me, all I see around here is contrails, not chemtrails. But there's pictures of it because a contrail from a jet is caused by the vapor, the heat in the cold atmosphere that causes the jet to trail.
Right.
And it's thinner. It don't stay up in the sky as long. Chemtrails stay up there. They're wider and they hang around longer. So if you see something wider, it's hanging around, maybe crisscross, they're chemtrails.
Yeah.
And they've had patents on that for years.
Oh yeah. And you know, I know some people that lived in North Carolina. When that storm hit, they said they saw planes going over, leaving the chemtrails. Yep. And for what reason do they break open all the dams to flood?
Uh-huh.
Those dams should not have been open. That was all man-made to get rid of those people so they can get that lithium out of that state and those people will lose their homes. And I'll tell you what, I showed my wife the other day, and if you don't believe me, watch Fox News weather, and you'll see like the East Coast has got storms and the West Coast where I doesn't have anything. And they'll show you this half of all the storms and this half without. The part that has the storms, you've seen radar, right? Mm-hmm. Beep, beep, beep. Well, if you watch that, you'll see green lasers like going into the storms. Now, it's not moving in circles. It's going straight in, straight in, straight in. Then they show the other half of the United States. There ain't no beams coming in. There's no nothing. It shows you right on their radar what they're doing. They're shooting that ARP into those clouds, making these storms worse and worse. You know, it's a government thing. It's a government a cover-up. It's all it is. They're trying to destroy these cities and towns and people.
Yep. Now, what do you think about Cuba? What do you think is going to happen with Cuba?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Cuba is a gangster country. The mafia has been there for years. Anybody that had anything to do with any kind of crime goes to Cuba. Fidel Castro, he was trying to make all the money he could make and starve the people. Now those people are living on candlelight, and if they want to straighten out their country, I don't think they should become part of the United States. But we should help them out, but we should have control of what goes on.
Now, why do you think they're running out of electricity?
They have no electricity. I just watched the thing on the hospitals are running on candlelight.
You know why?
Tell us why.
I'm going to bring a clip up on that, and I'm going to let people see this clip. This is from Senator Rubio, okay? And this will give you an idea. I've had a show about Cuba, and here it is.
Cuba. Oil blockade on Cuba. There's no oil blockade on Cuba per se. Here's what's happening with Cuba, okay? Cuba used to get free oil from Venezuela. Used to give them a bunch of free oil. They would take like 60% of that oil and resell it for cash. It wouldn't even go to benefit the people. So the only blockade that's happened is the the Venezuelans have decided we're not giving you free oil anymore. And you can only imagine nowadays, the way oil prices are, no one's giving away free oil, much less to a failed regime. So the problem with Cuba is worse, okay? Their economic model doesn't work. And the people who are in charge can't fix it. And the reason that I can't fix it is not just because they're communists, that's bad enough, but they're incompetent communists.
There you go. So people are pissed.
$50 a gallon there.
Yeah. So people are pissed off because we went into Venezuela. We took out Maduro, but he had an international warrant on for his arrest. That was a very effective operation. Military had some techniques and capabilities that they've never seen before. We probably don't even know all about. And now the Venezuelan government, the president that stepped up, she's fully behind the United States. They brought in American petroleum companies to get their facilities back up to par. And guess who's going to get the advantage of the Venezuela oil? The United States.
Yeah.
And so Cuba was involved heavily with Maduro. His bodyguards were Cuban.
Yep.
Okay, people didn't know that. His bodyguards were Cuban. And then so if we would not have stepped into Venezuela, you would have had China involved, trying to get all the oil. Mm-hmm. Then you would have had Russia. Well, Trump just shut that friggin' down. What he's doing is taking care of a hemisphere. We're in the Western Hemisphere. He's already got Greenland or Iceland, so we can have people up there in the bases up there protecting us from the north. He's working on Canada. He's working on Mexico, Central America. There you have your Western Hemisphere secure with everything we friggin' need.
Yeah.
We don't use all that oil coming from Iran.
Nope.
We don't get shit from that.
Nope.
Russia, they're the ones, and China is the ones that's making out on it, and now they're taking the hurt.
Oh yeah,
because they're not getting their oil. There was oil tankers that have turned around. I think 120 oil tankers turned around. Now they're headed to Texas to pick up oil. So and the thing is, people don't realize, yeah, we have our own oil, but ours is sweet crude.
right.
Okay? It's a different process. It takes longer to process than what Iran's or even Venezuela's does. So there's a different chemical balance or whatever they have to process to do that. And I think Trump is, they're working on a facility down in Houston or Galveston to be able to make and produce what we need here. Of course, we're exporting oil, but those countries already, how they're doing it, I don't know. We're still exporting, and maybe they have better facilities to work on that sweet crude than what we do. I don't know. But I know today oil did drop again. The last time I looked at it was $101 a barrel.
Right.
And for people that don't know, a barrel of fuel oil is about 45 gallons. It's not 50 gallons, it's about 45, 47 gallons for a oil. I've done my research on it.
Well, you know something, you take Maduro, Biden, all them, he was giving them cash. They kept him there to keep all this conflict going. And Trump, he offered him, here, take this money, leave, and don't come back. And he figured he was untouchable and nobody could touch him. And we got him in less than 20 minutes. We had him on that ship. And Americans, how can you take that poor man away from his family and his country and what you did? Kiss my little sweet white ass. He had to go. And we just showed the world, if we want you, we can tag you. We can take you out. Trump has shown that. And these other countries know that. And Trump's being nice. I got to give him, he's not saying, Putin, I can get you in 20 minutes also. He's letting bygones be bygones to a certain extent. If you play by us, we'll play with you. If not, we can snatch your happy ass in a minute. And I think he needs to start snatching more asses, and these countries will start straightening up. That's the only fault I see right now.
Well, that's what helped us too, was the international warrant, and I still think we had, because it was, to me, the operation went so smooth.
Yeah.
Either we got lucky or we're that damn good that Maduro was involved with it to get him out of there safely.
Yeah.
I think Maduro helped make that happen, although I think we killed probably 300 of the Cuban guards, because I read a thing where one of the guards did survive, and he goes, they couldn't believe what was happening because it was happening so fast. They got disorientated because we used a weapon on them, probably a sonar weapon. They had blood coming from their ears, and we only used like 20 people to go in there and take out that many troops and get Maduro.
Oh, they were throwing up, bleeding from their eyes, bleeding from their nose, bleeding from their ears. And not many, only bullets who were really fired were the ones that the soldiers were shooting at the helicopters.
Right, and our bullets that took them out. But here's what people don't realize. The RRG thinks they're big shit.
Yeah,
okay. All we have to do is set one of those sonar weapons close to where they're at. Yeah. And guess what? They're going to be the same thing. They're going to be toast. What can't they figure out?
This is it's called stuck on stupid and hung on dumb. And I'm not talking about a good country song. I'm telling you, these people are miserable, and they're trying to, we'll die before they're going to die. And I think Trump needs to go over and just wipe out their military completely, send our boys over there. Not that we should have it, but put a base up there and let us be policing that state and bringing it back. The Iranians, they've been doing this for 47 years, fighting with everybody. Those people have nothing. They're under a third world country.
Well, this Islam, I'm going to show you something. People don't, because it happened to our own people, the news reporters and stuff. But is this what we want going on with that type of regime?
Yeah,
that's 11 years ago. Of course, that was by ISIS, and they want them to convert to Islam. Now, you want to put up with that shit? They were beheaded. You think that you want to back up people like this? You want to protest for them? You know, whoever's protesting for them are idiots, and they're blinded, or they don't care, or they're getting paid for it. Well, because you don't see people from that country that's here in the United States protesting against what we're doing to Iran. You do not see that.
Well, you know, something, if it was their brother, sister, or father sitting right there, they wouldn't have that outlook. But like you said, they're getting paid. Just like that woman nurse that got killed in Michigan, the one they shot in the van. Okay, what was her name? I can't think of her name now, but long story short, that's what it means to me. But her sister called her and said, "We're getting $1,500. Come down here and protest." The woman would have stayed home. She wouldn't have got killed. But she came down there, got mouthy, like, no one can touch us. We're on the payroll. You know, Governor Tampon has got our backs. We're not going to see no jail. And she got killed. And same thing with that male nurse. He had no business going to a protest with a handgun.
Exactly. Yeah, you can conceal and carry, but you don't take it to an event like that.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. It's just like, this is another thing that pisses me off, that last shooting attempt of Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. People think it was staged.
I think those 9 officers were in cahoots to kill Trump.
I don't think so. Even because I saw the video where the guy had the dog. It went into inside the doorway, right? And the officer pulled him back. But at the time, did he see that person with a gun? You don't know. I mean, you don't know what that officer really saw. So I take that as, and the thing is, the way that person ran through there, okay, because they were just taking down the magnetometers, okay, and so he flew there so fast with the gun pointed. The one standing at the magnetometer on the right side was facing where the officer actually pulled his service weapon and fired at the guy, and the other ones responded. They whipped around real quick, pulling their revolvers. So I don't think it was really staged. But people are really pissed off because it did. Of course, the guy did not get done what he wanted. If you look at his manifesto, okay, he had a manifesto like 3 pages long.
Yeah.
So, and he released that to his family not long before that happened.
So he thought he was going to die.
Exactly.
And they didn't kill him. But you want to know something? I've been watching, conspiracy theories on this, and I've seen this video from different directions, different camera angles and stuff like that. And when he walks into that room, the dog does go in, and the guy pulls him on, the dog goes back. The dog was the only one that knew what was going on.
Well, maybe the dog sensed it, maybe because did the guy have the weapon that was hid and didn't have it out yet, the long gun? You don't know. Did the dog sense that there was something wrong with that guy? Dogs have a better sense of something going on than humans do.
So the guy with the dog, why didn't he go in? I've got the same kind of dog he has. They have a Malinois Shepherd. My dog growls or barks. I know to go to the door. There's something's not right. And if someone walks into my house and he tries to eat them up, I know there's something not right. We had a friend come over. Well, he was not my friend, one of my wife's friends. He had a gun in his pants. My dog took him out for lunch. Was pulling that jacket out, and we're going, stop, stop, stop. And the dog knew he had a gun. I didn't know he had a gun. Not that he was going to use it, but why wasn't that cop saying, okay, what's up with the dog? To pull him away and walk away. And then The guy runs past all those Secret Service agents and doesn't get tagged, doesn't get shot.
Well, that one guy shot off, what is it? I counted the rounds. You could see the flash from his gun going off every time. The one on the far right bottom, he shot his revolver or his service weapon probably 6-7 times.
And he didn't hit anybody?
Well, they're saying that could have been where one of the Secret Service officers got hit at, was from him. That means
because the one got shot in the chest and lived.
Right. Okay. So if you're looking at you're pulling your weapon, you're trying to move to the right and follow this guy and shoot. To me, that's you got to be really trained to hit a moving target. And I don't think half of these officers, because I don't think that was not Secret Service. That was just a regular police officer from probably DC.
Well, I heard there was 9 Secret Service agents were right now are being questioned because they let that guy through there.
Well, he didn't make it through the ballroom, did he? Through the doors?
No, he didn't make it through there, he got past all those.
Somebody stopped him because I have been to a presidential visit. Okay. And I know I stood in line for 2 hours to go through. First thing you do, you have to empty your pants, your pants, and take everything out of your pocket, put in a little thing, and then you walk through the magnetometer, and then, of course, after that, you're out into the venue, which was it's like a football field where they had it at. It was over by Quincy, Illinois, and then they had a fenced-in area where they had the stage in the back for news. They had fences. Well, I got there early enough to get into the seating area, but there were people standing outside of it. But if you looked around, they had trailers positioned with snipers on top of the trailers. And that was when Trump was running for president through, it was something America Again or something like that. And that's why I listened.
Make America great again?
It was something like that. And then, of course, that's where, so, I mean, if you're running through fast speed like that guy was, and I mean, you can see he was booking his ass.
Oh, yeah, he was running.
Yeah. So you're sitting there trying to fire a gun. And if you're not firing ahead of the person, I could see that being missing and actually accidentally hitting another one of your Secret Service agents. So to me, I know what you think, and I believe the dog probably sensed something, but maybe the trainer or the handler didn't pick it up that it was something bad. I mean, maybe dogs, maybe the dog sensed that this guy was up to no good. But can you interpret what the dog's thinking? It's hard to tell.
Well, like I said, I've got friends here in Vegas who are canine. I've got my my Malinois Shepherd and stuff like that. A good cop who's a canine, if that dog's not right, or a dog stops at a bumper or stops at a wheel, starts sniffing, they know something's wrong. That dog wouldn't have walked in that room, tried to get in that room the second time. And there's another video which makes this really weird. But when you see the guy come around the corner before he goes into the room, it looks like he's holding a white piece of paper. Have you seen that video?
I may have missed that one.
And as he gets close to the door, the paper disappears. He didn't drop it. And then there's another video where he never goes in that room. He comes streaking around past everybody. I mean, is someone photoshopping these videos? I've seen 3 different videos now. One looks like he's holding a sign and he turns and goes into that door. There's another one where he's holding the sign and it disappears like it was never there, and he's running through with a shotgun in his hand.
Well, see, this hard thing with AI, this is the thing. You see what supposedly the actual video shows that the White House released, but then you're right. Then you see things other than that. Is it AI? I don't know, because unless you have an AI checker, but does an AI checker pick out that stuff? It's just like when Trump was shot at in Butler, Pennsylvania. It was all staged. That's all they want to say. It was staged. It was staged. Well, I'll tell you what, I would not put my life in danger knowing somebody's going to be shooting at you, and bullet goes past, and you can see the bullet that grazed his ear from a photographer go past to the right side of Trump. It was staged my ass, because either that guy they killed was a real good marksman, okay, because they took him out and nobody's ever going to know, okay, and they don't know, and they've never released all his communications encrypted supposedly, or they're not releasing them. And then people say, well, Israel was behind it. I don't know. You know, I would hope it would not be staged just so Trump could get ratings, you know, and that's what people look at. And they cry because he did not get killed.
Yes, I know. But, you remember the female cop with a ponytail that was in front of Trump after he fell, he got up? Well, I know some friends here who deal with, stuff like that. And for some reason, she should have never been there, because you're supposed to be as tall or taller than the subject you're guarding. Okay? Now, she was short, so when he stood back up, they still above her head, he was a head taller than her.
Yep.
For that second shooter, supposedly it was on that water tower.
Now, another thing, she could have been one of the ones, because when I went to the Trump event, there were in front of the stage, we had all the chairs out. There were two Secret Service guys on each side of the stage on the ground level. Okay, so she could have been part of that was watching the crowd, from below the stage, below the stage, and she jumped up there. We don't know. Only they know.
Well, and, supposedly, 5 minutes before he got shot, that woman was off to the lavatory, to one of the bathrooms, because she was there. Her kid was there with a nanny, a babysitter, to see Trump speak, and she ran to the bathroom because the child wouldn't stop crying. And she shows up 5 minutes before Trump gets shot at, and then when they're taking Trump down the stairs to get into the vehicle, she's trying to put her gun in her holster. She can't even find her holster. But did you notice the soldier at the front of the car? He's got his rifle out. Who's he trying to shoot?
Well,
was he soldier?
Well, yeah, it was probably I don't know if it was sheriff's department or whatever, or because Secret Service wouldn't have that type of outfit on,
right?
So it could have been. But the thing is, he could have had his rifle or with a gun looking outward to see if there's any of the threats, because
his eye, if you will look at the girl, sees him and she's trying to host her. The soldier, the guy in the military outfit, has got his gun. He's got dead right. That's all he had to do was go like this, and he could have killed Trump right then and there.
Well, maybe that's because where the bullet came from. I don't know. I mean, it's a good topic to talk about. Him pointing the gun. Now, was he looking past Trump to make sure?
Or was he looking at Trump?
I would hope not. But look at Kennedy.
Well, I know, but as soon as Trump ducked, that guy disappeared. I mean, it was like he was there and then he's not there. It's just a woman trying to put her gun in her holster. Yeah. Trump's like looking right at this guy. This guy's got his rifle looking at Trump. They shove him in the car, and then it kind of, the camera moves, whatever, and they show him that door shuts. That guy's nowhere to be seen again.
Well, because the cameras weren't really on him; they were on Trump. When you have to look at,
but again, there was no other military on that ground.
They were out there somewhere. They were out there. I would guarantee you that, because I know I looked up those trailers when Trump was at Minden, Illinois, outside of Quincy, and they were up on top, and they had plainclothes people walking through the crowd, because one guy got up to take a picture from the seating area, got a little bit close. There was a guy that came up behind him, tapped him on the shoulder, and told him to turn around and back off. Secret Service changed their stance from a relaxed, hands crossed, to straight upward, like, okay, you come any closer, we're ready
Right.
to engage you. Okay. So I've seen that firsthand. Now the thing is this goes so deep that Secret Service is actually part of it. Would I would pray not God, pray not, you know. But look at Kennedy. That's still a quagmire. Yeah. You know, was Johnson
I
involved?
just watched that video the other day. It shows the driver leaning back like this with his gun out, facing right at Kennedy.
Right.
Now, the back of his head was blown off. He didn't get shot from behind. Did the guy from
Well, that's what made his head go back.
Yeah, he went back like this, and then old lady Kennedy, she's making a dash off the trunk of the car, and they told her sit back down. But he got shot from the front. He didn't get shot from the back because the bullet hole blew the back of his brains out. So did he shoot him, or the guy in prison that said that he shot Kennedy? You know,
Well, then that goes like the same guy that supposedly says that shot Charlie Kirk.
right?
Okay. There's so many it's either he's a patsy or I don't think that he actually shot him, but so for some reason he's taking a patsy because he jumped off of that roof, or they showed the person jumping off the roof that was supposedly shot. And if he had a long gun with him, all he had was a bag. He did not have time to dismantle that gun or that rifle.
Gene Bonanero, is that how you say his name?
Bongino?
Yeah, Bongino. I just got done watching him yesterday, talking about the guy that supposedly shot Donald Trump. And he said, now, like I said, it's news. You don't know who to believe or whatever, but when he jumped off that roof, he didn't throw no gun down. You see him squat down, bend, and jumps off the roof. And then he walks across the dry, the grassy knoll. A black woman passes him. Then it shows him walking down the sidewalk.
That was before. You mean limping, like he had something down?
No, he was just walking.
There was one before that showed him walking along a sidewalk with a limp, like he had a stiff leg. Okay,
right.
Now that would indicate he had a long gun in his pants.
But you're not jumping off a building 20 feet with a long gun in your pants, because it either stuck, broke your neck, or shot you.
Yep, and the only reason why he crouched down is when you jump that far, you're gonna end up going down and come back up. But all he had was a bag.
His knees. But what Bonjero was saying is, they believe he went there the day before, and he was testing out the rooftop, because the cameras in the parking lot are straight surveillance cameras.
Right.
Whoever shot that, you see him, like the camera's here, and the camera's following him, and then it shoots him going across the sidewalk. And that woman walking past, you know what I'm saying? Why, the camera didn't stop. The camera's meant to stay in one position. It's not a movement camera. So where was that camera at? Who shot that video ahead of time?
That's what I'm saying. I think he's a patsy.
Yep, I believe he's a patsy, and I believe that plane that landed in the airport 10 minutes away from Israel had something to do with it. I believe even Bonjero said,
"Well, you mean 10 minutes? You mean 10 minutes from the university?" Yeah,
and if you look at his shirt,
Israel, I'm going, whoa.
They said it was a new thing. They said that plane was from. There was people on there from Israel on that plane, and the plane was being tested because it was being bought.
Yep. So is it coincidence, or is it, something tied in?
But if you watch, and then that little black tag that sat on Charlie Kirk's shirt, supposedly was a microphone. Okay.
Well, you see it puffed out.
How many microphones? He's got a microphone in his hand. You can see the black tag, and when Charlie Kirk is sitting back, you can see a wire running down the shirt. Now, think about this. Charlie Kirk's got a microphone. They had a lip reader come in and read the lips just before he got shot. The guy that was standing behind Charlie Kirk goes, "Well, are you ready or what?" And Charlie Kirk turns to him and says, all right, give me the shot. Then they back up. Charlie Kirk
back up.
And then the suitcase. Remember the black suitcase? Charlie turns around and goes, turns again. The guy leans in. He goes, why is this suitcase here? He said, don't worry about it. Charlie Kirk stands back up, puts down his microphone. The shirt blows like this.
Yeah,
his necklace
up.
flutters, and all of a sudden, he's shot in the neck. And the bullet that shot him didn't even fit the rifling of the gun supposedly that kid had.
Well, it was a 30-06, even from the range it would have broke his neck bones. And they said that wasn't done because there's been hunters that take a animal bone, which is probably more denser than your neck bones, and it shattered it. So a lot of things unanswered that. We'll never know. It's just like the Kennedy assassination. We'll never know. But again, like I said, people who watch this show, I want to get people on here so you can talk like Randy and I are. And you don't have to worry about a left person attacking you. And you can talk about whatever you want to talk. It could be about child services. It could be about anything. This is what this show is about. And I want to grow it to have the regular people like you and I come on here, voice their concerns, even if it's in the chat. And right now, nobody's made a comment in chat. And this is, it's hard to get, right now, it's going to take me time to get people to realize that this is what this show is about.
And Jim, they don't have to be just Republicans. They could be Democrats, right?
No. This is for the right side.
Well, I'm just saying, though, if a Democrat wanted to come on here and, argue the debate like you and I were talking today, they would be welcome, correct?
As long as they keep, they don't go off the wall like usually your left side does and the lunatics. Okay.
Well, if you get one of those, let me know.
Yeah, because they are out there, and I want to keep it so where we can talk like this, you and I, because you and I were on the same page. Okay?
Yes, we are.
But you get some out there, which I've ran into. I've been verbally assaulted by a woman because I'm a Republican. She was a Democrat. It was on Republican Day at the state fair. My wife and I was walking underneath the racetrack to leave for the day. I had my Trump hat on. I had my Trump shirt on. And remind you people, this is on Republican Day. As she's approaching me, she goes, Harris. And I said, Trump. After that, boom, boom, boom. Just like you see these people attacking these podcasters out in the field. And then finally I got to the point, I said, and I was explaining about this one couple that has kids. He's making more money. He was still having some problems making it. And I said, he has 4 kids, just had another one. She goes, nobody should have more than 2 kids. I looked at her and I said, you know what? You sound like communists in China, and walked away. This is how the left side wants to shut you down and keep you silenced. Well, this is what this group is for. You don't have to worry about being silenced by a leftist radical idiot.
Well, that girl, Katie, I can't think of her last name, the one that goes out to all the...
Yeah, I like her shots.
She shot a video yesterday, the day before yesterday, where her and her girlfriend got in disguises. She had a black wig on, and she had a shirt that said Provo or Prolo on it. And her girlfriend went there saying that she was a transgender and that she had the operation since she was 6 years old and, all this stuff. And they're talking to all these people. And she goes, yeah, I'm so worried because, people think of me as being differently. And I should be able to play in women's sports, and this and that. And I'm thinking, and these people, yeah. And the whole time, Katie's like, what a bunch of assholes. These people don't even have a clue, And half of these people don't know what they're protesting for. They really don't.
There's no way a trans man should play in any woman's sports.
Exactly. And I agree with that.
In fact, when I was at the Trump rally, Trump mentioned something like that. He's talked about this lady swimmer, and all of a sudden she was a good political or good posture to win it, and all of a sudden this person just comes streaking by her, and it was a he she. Like Trump called him a he she.
Yeah.
You know? And he goes, that is not going to happen. Trump has values.
Yes.
Trump has morals. He does not want wars. He's already into 8 wars already. Okay. Maybe the Iraq war, I mean, Iran, but people don't call it a war. But, look at all the other ones, the other countries. Malaysia, not Malaysia, but he got that under control. Now, eventually, this is a conflict. It's not really a war, people.
It's not a war. People don't know what war is. Vietnam was none of our business, but that was a war. People were being killed every day. World War II people. We're just trying to control a bunch of idiots.
Well, because we don't control these idiots, they're going to attack us.
Yes. Just like the sleeper cells. A lot of sleeper cells in America.
They've been around since ISIS days. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
They've been here. Now, if they want to activate, then this is where the Second Amendment people need to keep and fight for your Second Amendment, because you may have to take up arms to protect your own area or your own housing area, because the criminals are always going to have guns. It don't matter what. And you think these terrorist groups have legal guns? Bullshit.
No.
All right. So if you are a rifle gun owner, protect that Second Amendment. Yep. Okay. Because without that Second Amendment, your First Amendment and a lot of the amendments of the Constitution are toast. Right. All right. Where do you think happened to Germany? They took the weapons away from people. Do you see Trump doing that? No. So how you can call him Hitler when Hitler himself, his party, took the guns away from people? Look at even Australia. They took the guns away from people in Australia.
England too. People have no guns there.
No. So how can you defend yourself? You'd have to go out and get a gun deal legally if you're not able to get one or whatever. But still, why press the people that are rightful gun owners? Think how many hunters in this United States have guns. Are they going out mass murdering people? No. They are
Jim, the only people shooting people here lately, and again, I don't care what people say to me, I might get calls and phone calls and death threats. All these school shootings are all transgender people.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a mental disorder.
Yes, it is. Because I own guns, you own guns. We're not saying, hey, let's go out. I grew up with guns. It did not make me want to go up and start shooting people. Even though I watched TV, as a kid, the Bonanza and, the Wild Wild West and all that.
The West.
It didn't make me want to go out and start having a gunfight in the middle of the street. Because if you shoot it, you're gonna take the blame. You don't want to kill people.
This is because partially the media, your mainstream legacy news, puts that fracture in between people that wants to ramp it up. You have the Congress, and I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, that cannot tone it down.
Right.
Okay. I've heard of Democrat politicians speaking really bad about Trump, and all it does is agitate the people that have a screw loose in their head.
Yes,
to take it upon themselves.
Yes.
And did you see the Democrats going out there? We need to stop this. We need to stop this rhetoric before we do lose a president. And I tell you what, I lived through losing a president, Kennedy.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I was young.
Yeah.
Okay. This country mourned about Kennedy. And it's like I said on my last show, 9/11. If you're a patriot, you're a patriot all the way, right, every day, not just after 9/11. If you look after 9/11, how the country banded together so good.
Yes.
They volunteered for the military. They were behind what happened after 2001. Where's the patriotism in these American people gone to? It's not there anymore. If you don't love this country, leave this country.
CNN just did a story that 74% of our 74% of the people have joined the military. Our military is up 74%.
It is with Trump in office. It is
Yes.
because they know Trump has their back. It's just
Right.
like your police departments. They need to refund these police departments instead of defunding them. Refund your police departments, back them up. Don't make them liable for every little thing that they're trying to take care of out there because you're protecting the damn criminals.
Well, the ones that are young debunk the police. Do this, do that. Don't let them do this. You let something happen to their house, get robbed, someone gets raped. They're the first ones on the phone calling the police. They're the first ones bitching, wanting to help.
Yes.
And there are bad cops. There's some cops who think they're Matt Dillon from the old sheriff days and shoot you without asking questions, and something goes to their head because they get a little authority. And not all the people like that. Let the cops do their jobs. Let the state police, let the military do their jobs.
I'm going to plan another show next Thursday, and I already talked to Sheriff Mendrick, who's out of DuPage County, second largest county of Illinois. I've had him on my show. He lost his bid to run for governor in the primaries, but I tell you what, he's got some information that he'll put out during the show about gang activity, about everything, about immigration, how it's destroying the illegal immigration, and how they're getting more benefits than you and I as a natural citizen.
Yes.
This is what's driving up, like he's told me tonight before I came on. The immigrants, the illegal ones, they're going to the hospital just for regular thing, taking ambulances rides. Okay.
Yeah.
They're getting pushed in front of people that have regular issues. It's not an emergency they're going there for. And they're taking resources away from you and I taxpayers.
And what really sucks, Jim, is the court system.
Well, yeah, the Safety Act in
illegals go
Illinois.
in front of these judges, and the judge sends them out the back door. You and I could do the same crime, and we'll get 10 friggin' years.
Well, at least they got that woman judge in Michigan for doing that.
They got the one in Wisconsin, too.
Or maybe it was Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay, she let the guy go through her chamber doors.
That was Wisconsin.
And the ICE had to run after him, where they could have done it legally in a safe way and not put people's lives at risk. Yep. And this is what James Mendrick can tell you and talk to you about on the show, because he is actually the second largest county in Illinois next to Cook County. Okay, real good informative person. And Illinois has a Safety Act, which is not good. Okay. Another thing, we need to have voting ID. I don't give a shit what people say. Just because you have to have an ID to vote doesn't mean it's on a specific race.
Right.
Okay. Anybody can go out there and get an ID card. All right. Now, you have your birth certificate. Go get your damn birth certificate to prove you are a U.S. citizen. You were born here. Okay. Or if you got remarried, prove it's just like me to have a passport. My wife, it's harder on women because if they're married, get divorced, name changes, they have to have a birth certificate. It's no damn different than a ID to vote. I mean, I went to the eye doctor today. I had to show my ID who I was.
Yeah.
But yet you want people that are illegal to vote. And don't tell me, United States people, it don't happen, because I've talked to politicians that friggin' happen. Okay. I saw a guy that was a judge. He was a watcher down in Georgia during the elections. And he saw the rigging of the election down there. Now what's happening? It's starting to come out that that election was rigged. I know a guy who ran for Congress up in Northern Illinois, had illegals voting. They came to him and said, yeah. He goes, why? He goes, because they paid us money.
Yes.
He has affidavits from them. So election fraud does happen. We need to eliminate the possibility of election fraud completely. And whatever the left side says, they need to shove it up their dark side.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
Because all they want is votes. Okay.
Yeah,
the more,
they don't care how they get them. Dead people vote for them.
Well, Illinois is starting to find out. There's, I don't know. Here, they want to take. They say illegals don't. What is it? There's something in Illinois that was said here just recently that the illegals aren't getting aid, but yet they don't want to. They're saying if we end this, their aid will stop. They're double talking. It's just like our governor here in Illinois, Pritzker. He has TV ads, and I called him a liar here in my last show, which in a way he was, in a way he's not, because yes, he eliminated the 1% grocery tax. That 1% grocery tax helps for roads, for your local communities and stuff like that. Well, he eliminated it for the state, but guess what? Your local communities, towns, cities, villages can implement a 1% grocery tax and more than 1%. So who gets the blame from that? The people that do it, not Pritzker. Like I said on the show, I said, you remind me of that governor in the best little whorehouse in Texas dancing around. Right on my show. That's how you are, Pritzker. And I'll say it again.
Pritzker needs to go. The guy is bad for Illinois. I hate to say this, but back in the day when the mobsters ran that state, you didn't have these problems. It's like the Old West. Everybody should be able to carry a gun. States and people can carry guns without permits and hide them, keep them concealed. People ain't robbing people. They're not getting in the houses. They're not raping because you don't know if that woman's got a gun. But now today, someone rapes a woman, she pulls her gun out and shoots that bastard. She's in jail for shooting him.
Yep, because I went to an iGold meeting. They're talking about that. There's people that are fighting that, and Illinois Gun Owners was Illinois Gun Owners Lobby Day, put on by the Illinois State Rifle Association, which has cases in court that are fighting situations like that. And so, yeah, I'm not just a what do you want to call it, person out here speaking from just me. It's because I've been to things like this. I hear what goes on.
Yeah.
I go to these political events. I go to things like that. And this is where I get my information from. And then I go research. If I see it on Facebook, I research because Facebook, you never know what's true on Facebook.
I would say 1% out of 100 is true on Facebook. Just like California, when everybody was allowed to rob up to $1,000 and not go to jail.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And those two Iranian guys, or Hindu, whatever they were being robbed. The guy hits the guy with a broom, and all of a sudden the guy that got hit with a broom, he's suing. I got hurt. You're robbing the guy's damn store. You
get hit with a rubber bullet from ICE, and they're trying to sue ICE.
They're trying to sue.
I got hit in the nuts and it hurt, or my eye got black and blue. Well, you shouldn't have been there to begin with. If you go there,
been throwing rocks and shit at cop cars and
right,
stones.
Exactly. We have to respect the law. Yeah, the law does allow you to peacefully protest, okay, but it does not allow you to go past that line and threaten or interfere with the legality of what the ICE is trying to do. And yes, it is legal what they're doing. It is legal because they are law enforcement people, just like your sheriffs, your city police. They're law enforcement. And if you come across the country illegally, you already broke a law.
Yes,
I don't care.
And I live about 6 blocks from the Hells Angels clubhouse. I talk to these guys all the time, and they were down in Texas and on Mexico running the border. And I said, people are complaining, hey, there's 2,000 motorcycles rowing in our town. What are you going to do about these people? They said, well, they're here to help us. No, leave the illegals alone. Get rid of those Hells Angels.
Right. Yeah.
And the Hells Angels said, no, we're patriots. We're here to help out ICE in America because we're Americans. So they actually had shootouts with the cartel in the desert, knocking the cartel off left and right. And people say, you can't allow them to kill these people. Those people are trying to kill our people. They're still
Well, they
Americans.
will
They're still trying to
eventually.
kill our ICE agents. You know, people. Jim, I think these people sit on their fucking heads. I'm sorry.
Well, either that or they want to listen to mainstream news. I mean, just like when I had the show last week about the young kid in Iran that got hung. I said, did you hear that on your news? I don't think you
No,
did because they don't want to tell you about that stuff.
no, they
So this
don't.
is where you get your real information out. It's from podcasters. Yeah, you have podcasters on the left. You have your podcasters on the right. The same as, but most of your news out there is left driven. Okay. There's very few right-sided news that are just right-sided that, because, yeah, I mean, for me, I talk to people where I work at, and if I found out they're left-sided, to me, it's very tough. But basically, I said, you have your thoughts, I have my belief. We don't talk about it anymore. Okay. Don't get in an argument with them. They're not. And I've had them come up trying to antagonize me.
Oh, they're the biggest
Democrat.
antagonizers in the world.
Yes, they antagonize me. This one guy says, did you know that Melania is not here legally? I said, what do you mean? He goes, look it up. Well, I did look it up. She is here legally.
Yeah, she is.
Because the type of visa she's on. He goes, and then he came back a week ago. Did you look up? I said, yeah, she's here legally. He shut up.
Yeah.
And then now he's been not coming in and talk about stuff like that because he knows I review my stuff and I can come back if I need to. And you got to know your facts. And like Randy says, and I said, the left side people that's out there on the streets, a lot of them do not know their facts.
No.
And this is what the problem is.
Real quick before we end the show, that girl Katie I've been talking about?
Right.
She was at a rally the other day, and they told her they had to get out. She had to get out of her park. She goes, "Oh, you're putting up walls? Yeah, you can't come in here." She goes, "Oh, but you don't like walls, right? So you're bitching about Trump, but you're putting up walls. Well, that's different." She goes, "A wall is a wall. Okay, exactly. A wall is a wall." And she says, "Tell me something that you don't like about Trump." Well, he threw that guy from somewhere in Mexico, deported him back. Mm-hmm. Well, she said, he's throwing our Americans out. She says, look it up. Tell me one American that we deported. Well, that guy from El Salvador. She says, he's not an American.
No.
Well, he was living here and he has a family. It doesn't matter. He's not an American. He was also a child pedophile. He was also arrested for robbery and drugs and all this other stuff. Well, and then they get really mad and they walk away. So she said, see, people don't know what they're talking about. She turned to another lady and started speaking to her, and that woman walks up. She goes, well, wasn't there other Americans he threw out? She says, get your phone out. Look it up. Yeah. It is. I'll do it right now. They can't look it up because there's not.
They can't look it up because there's nothing there.
Exactly.
Yep, and that's what I do.
What the media is telling them.
Yep. So people, do your research.
Yes.
Google it. You may have to Google it a couple ways, look at it different ways, but do your fact checking, because without your fact checking, you're not in the right place. You're just like a sheep being led and jumped over the water.
Okay. Well, I want to ask one thing before we leave.
Yeah.
On April 26th, Trump signed that bill for all of us to get $2,000 tariff tax. And he signed that $1,000, quote unquote, for our Social Security. And the checks are supposed to come out May 11th. Now, all these people that hate Trump, are they going to reject those checks?
Well, I don't know if that's actually went through or not, but I agree. If you hate Trump, if there is money that's coming through, return it. But right now, the tariff money, from what I know, is going to go to corporations first, which I disagree with, because, they did pass that tariff increase onto the consumers. Okay. Now, is that going to reduce costs for the consumers? No. If that is happening, which I'm going to have to research, I don't think it's went in effect yet, because I've heard it was supposed to happen quite some time ago. But still, that has to be passed by Congress, and it hasn't been passed through Congress yet. That's just like Congress not passing the which bill is it right now? Because they were holding up because of funding ICE,
Right.
the SAVE Act. Okay, and who was holding it up? The Democrats.
Democrats.
People don't realize, yeah, the Republicans may have the majority in the House and Senate, but it takes 60% of that people to pass it. So that means you need to have people from the Democrat side to come over to the Republican side. If you have 100 senators, you need 60 senators to vote to up it or down it. And right now that bill has been down every time with majority Democrats vote against. So if you're that stuck on Democrat, just like here in Illinois, we're stuck on Democrat because we have Pritzker. And I tell you what, if you listen to this throughout the United States, read up on Pritzker. I'll tell you what, he is a crook because, and I don't know if Randy knows this or not, he has a mansion, plus he has another house close by, right next door.
Yeah.
He removed the toilets, 6 toilets from his house, not his mansion, from his house, so it could be deemed uninhabitable to pay less taxes. Now, that's pretty down-handed and crooked.
Damn right it is.
This is what type of person you may have wanting to run for president in 2028. So anyway, we're going to get going off the show. Listen to this whole show. Spread the word. Come back on. I'm going to plan it again for Thursday night. I'm going to put the invites out there to get people just like Randy and I and others, just to normal people, to come on here and feel free to talk like Randy and I have without fear of being attacked by the left side, because it would make a turmoil in here, and I don't want a turmoil. It's so you as a right-sided person can sit here and speak in peace and your views and your thoughts without having been attacked by the left side. So anyway, Randy, it's been good again.
Jim, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a long time since we've done anything together.
Yep.
Please invite me back. I would love to come back. I love your issues. I love that we can talk about we talk about a lot of different things today. Where normally most podcast shows, they stick on one subject and that's it. I mean, we were all over the boulevard, but it was all today's news. You know, it wasn't something we we're talking about 6 years ago or, you know, whatever. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. God bless each and every one of you. And thank you, Jim, for having me on your show.
Yep. Maybe the next time we'll talk about outer space.
Oh, man, can't wait for that.
Part of that. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, this has been great. Again, I'm James Fraher, your host. And today, Randy is my co-host. I'm from Illinois. Randy's from Las Vegas. And look for an upcoming show this next upcoming Thursday. And I want to see more people. I want to see people in the room besides 2 of us. I want to see you and I, whoever you live at. I want to see you on the show. I want to see comments in the comments section, because this is the platform I want to build and grow on to make it a safe environment for us conservative, right-minded individuals that do have common sense.
Amen.
So for right now, I want to say God bless you, everyone. God bless this great country of the United States.
Amen.
God bless the world.
Amen.
And let's pray for peace. Although I actually think the only time there's going to be real peace in this world is when the Lord God Almighty returns.
Amen.
Again, thank you, everyone, and good night.
Good night.